My name is Shawnon, and this is my video out. I actually was born in Norfolk, but I've been in this general like Hampton Roads area basically all my life. I'm in Virginia Beach right now, um, and it's just my home. I feel like I've come out many times. I felt like I was queer probably back when I was like 19, 20, like in my college years. So I had that with my friends mostly because I grew up in a religious home. So I didn't feel safe coming out there. So I kind of waited until I decided to move out a couple years ago. And then I came out actually in January of 2017 to my parents. And that was interesting, but they're very accepting and understanding. So it was a very interesting experience. I identify as queer or pansexual. Back in college, I had a few friends, and there was a gay straight alliance at my school, unofficial because they wouldn't approve it, very conservative school. So I met people through there, and I just felt like I was really curious throughout the years, but I wasn't sure what to call it or if it was really something. So, I kind of got in with that sort of crowd and just like explored my feelings. And at that point in time, I felt like I was, very into women. And that's, all I wanted, just to, have those connections. I feel like my sister always knew, so she probably knew before then, but telling my best friend, she was a little shocked, but she understood and she was very accepting and, encouraged me to live in my truth. Living with my parents, I was very nervous about coming out and talking about it with them. I actually had an experience back when I was, I think, 18, 19. I just joined Facebook and joining little communities, and my profile was public. And I guess my dad had a Facebook too, and he saw that I had liked something. I think it was called like Lesbian Cafe or something like that. And he confronted me about it and got really angry and like angrily asked me, "Are you a heterosexual woman?" And of course, in that light, I'm not gonna say yes because, I felt scared. It felt like, I was only allowed to be one thing under that roof. So I said no. And from then on, I basically said, in this home, I'm just gonna be whatever they want me to be. But outside of it, just be the person that I truly am because I was afraid in the house. So that's how I felt for a while. But once I became more independent and felt like I needed to share and I was away from that dependency on my parents, I felt like I could share my truth and I could they could accept it as I live independently and deal with it while I continue to live my best life. My mom was very accepting and loving. Actually, when I came out, when I was trying to say it, like my dad kept interrupting me because I was like, well, I don't feel like I could tell you this because of like religion and what you believe in, what you feel like is wrong. And he just kept like trying to cut me off. I felt like he was just very upset. So I actually had to leave. I went upstairs to my old room and my mom went up there and we casually talked about it. She asked me questions. She was very open. I'm married and my husband is transgender, so I was explaining that to her as well. And she was able to understand. And, you know, ever since then, I've been pretty close with my mom. My dad, we haven't really addressed it. He did tell me before I left that night that he loved me no matter what, but I felt like there was still that disconnect there. And that's actually something that I'm struggling with at the moment, to actually bring it up because I don't want to bring it up because he's going to be upset or possibly upset and actually maybe act the same way or maybe blame things on me or somebody else. So I'm actually in the process of writing a letter and getting those feelings out and hoping that we can have a conversation. I'd say that I'm free. I am the same person that grew up in this house. It's just there's this other aspect of me that I felt like I couldn't share and I couldn't truly be free, but I want to be free with you. Do what makes you feel comfortable. Not everybody has that opportunity to come out, maybe in fear of being kicked out or being disowned. So I would say do what makes you feel comfortable. If it's just tearing at you, try to find a different option. Maybe you have a family member you could stay with or friends, or maybe there's a local shelter or something, like research resources. But it does hurt to keep something like that in. It's basically a part of yourself. Like I felt like, I was hiding different parts of myself in a place where I'm supposed to be myself and comfortable and safe and loved. I feel a lot. Um, there's a lot of hate crimes going on based on being Black, based on being LGBTQ. Um, it it's maddening sometimes to look on social media and see the stories, see the injustice that's going on. And then even outside of that, the LGBT inclusive spaces, not always seeing myself in those spaces. Um, so I'm I really just want to find more places where I can be all of those aspects of myself and feel comfortable. Um, I know Pride's coming up here, but it's more so like, like white, um, like a, there's not really a lot of representation for people like me. But I know in other areas like DC and like the other like major metropolitan areas, there's more of that representation. So I'm looking forward to maybe branching out, seeing, what spaces I can fit in. But right now, I'm basically creating my own space. I'm actually working on a book right now, with a friend, and it's a poetry book and prose, and it focuses on um, the ups and downs of being a queer woman, talking about the anxiety I felt with my parents and with coming out, and also just being happy in who I am and how the hurdles I've gone over these past couple of years. Mostly my husband. Um, he has his own story. He's a transgender male, and he actually was disowned when he came out and was homeless a few times. And the strength that he has is it's so admirable. He's had a lot of dark places that he's had to crawl out of, and he's still here, and he's actually more visible and happier than he's ever been. So I look up to him. I hope to have as much strength as he has one day, but he does tell me that I have my own and I'm very strong, and I'm very proud of him. I'm proud of us. I feel like we're a force together. I love the creative aspect of me. Writing has been a passion for me since I was a young teen. And that was the voice I had when I couldn't speak. I couldn't exactly tell my parents how I was feeling. Or, as a young adult trying to understand the world, um, writing is magic to me, honestly. It's crazy how I can put words on a page from my mind. Sometimes it feels like I'm giving myself advice. Sometimes it feels like a higher version of myself is giving me advice, and I feel like it's just such a beautiful thing, and I'm so thankful that I have this book opportunity and even more opportunities to share my story. I hope that I can inspire young people. I hope I can inspire queer people, people of color, anybody who's faced anxiety, depression, low times. I hope to encourage people. I hope to make them happy. If they are in a dark place, I hope I can kind of give them a little break, just find some inspiration, some happiness, some joy. I'd love to mentor youth. I'd love to like do writers workshops, like encourage other people to share their voices through writing or maybe other means. Just want to encourage and inspire.